What up, G's? It's your boy Prophet74. Today we're gonna build a Ryzen 7 machine. It's a 2700X machine. If you're not familiar with AMD, we're gonna do AMD all around. Today we're gonna start first of all with the MSI B450M. It's a mortar titanium. Actually, it's a motherboard that we're gonna install on this case. So, just like Origin did, so without the technical support from Origin, we're gonna try to do a hands-on build. But first of all, we're gonna start with this. This is a Ryzen 7 motherboard. It could go up to 3,000 for it's desktop ready for actually for the next version of the CPU that we're gonna get it out. So let's open it up first. Gray in the back, gray in the front. This is removable, of course, if you want to remove it for a water cooling system before we check out the IO shield. So they give you an HDMI built-in, so it has a video card built-in, of course. 3.1 jacks, it's Type-C audio connection, one of the best audio connections AMD does. MSI always throws a lot of audio support on this one. Ethernet gigabyte support on this one, so not bad. They give you a display port and an HDMI, like I said, and two regular USBs, of course. And they give you these old connections, which is like obsolete now, but you know, people still need them for certain hacks, certain things, you know. The motherboard's simple. It's simple. It's very simple. It's nothing fancy. There is a couple slots in here. There's actually two PLX. I believe this is a 16 and this is a 4. I'm not sure. Let me see. I'll tell you what it is because sometimes it gives you the information up front. This is PCI 1. It doesn't say what kind of support is, but this is where the actual video card is going to go on, and it's actually extra supported. If you guys see, there's aluminum all around it. These are the grips, of course, for the CPU fan. I might change my mind and not put a water cooling system. I'm not quite sure, but what I like about AMD, they always give you a fan on their freaking CPU sometimes, not always. All right, so we're gonna put the motherboard on the side. CDs, obsolete. More information about their website. More information about their support and other hardware they sell. These are SATA connection for the drives. They give you information how to lock in your if you have a fan, how to set it up, how to set up the fan. They give you information how to pick up the CPU. IO shield, nice one. And a whole manual. This is the manual you're gonna really need for the jumpers, you know. And they give you actually a screw. This is for the M.2, or if you're gonna put it depends. The M.2, that's what it is for. And of course, the serial number and everything else. And they give you a sticker. I got like a ton of these suckers, man. Anyways, we'll put this on the side. So on the side of it, they give you two SATA connection for any hard drives they're gonna put SATA drives or mechanical drives, so you can do that. The reason is that everything's being now taken by M.2s, so you really don't require so many of them, you know. So this is pretty much what's going to be taking over in the future, minimizing heat, minimizing any moving parts in here, electricity and stuff like that. So this is going to be the future. That's why they're obsolete. They're getting obsolete sooner or later. These actual connections are going to be gone. They only give you two. So right now we're going to put it on slot 1, which is this one right here. And let's get that screw out. So the screw's in there, an M.2 screw. I'm not sure the centimeters on it, but these are not that hard to find no more. They used to be a little difficult, but you can find them anywhere now. So let's put the screw somewhere in here. So let's go ahead and put the M.2 in there. And we're gonna, this is how you find out it's set up, right? If it's leaning this way, like a 45-degree angle, you're good. If you don't get that, then you got to do something and change it. So let me get the screw out of here, and make sure you have magnetic screwdriver. Make sure you're not static. You're static free, all right? And because you don't want to mess up your motherboard right now. Right now the AMD motherboard, this one is having a sale right now. There's no price difference. I believe it's under $200, 150 to 120. And we're gonna bring in the Prism Resistance. This is a CPU. Ryzen 7 2700X, pretty good fans, you know. Everything's included. They give you everything you need. So you know what? We're gonna keep it as is. So yeah, we're gonna keep it as is. We're gonna keep this fan in there and mount it in there. I like it. They give you everything that you need for the motherboard. I mean, copper's beautiful. This is removable. They lock it in there, and basically this is simple. You don't need any screws. See these little gaps right here? They actually grip onto the corners, and you just raise them up and they lock in perfectly. You don't really have to do a lot of work. If you guys can see this, I'm gonna open it up here. Here's one connection right there, and there's another one right there. I'm gonna cover it back because I'm not gonna connect them right now. But here, this is where you're gonna control the RGB lighting. That's what it is for. So I see the arrows on this side, and it seems like, yeah, it is on this side. If you guys see it, there's a gap in there. There's a little tiny bit. Let me see if I could bring in the camera closer. That's the closest I can get. And there's an arrow. I can actually see it on the monitor. There's an arrow right here on this side pointing that way, which is not visible, but it will do. So on this module here, on the actual CPU, let me see if I could make sure I don't mess anything up. Oh shoot, that's the ooh, it caught on the back. Whew. So if you guys can see, there's a gap in there, and there's a bunch of them missing there. So there's a little square in here, if you guys can see it. The little tiny square in there, in here, this part right here, that's where actually the arrows go. So there is a missing gap in there. So we're gonna get the CPU. This is freaking dangerous. This is what I don't like about AMD. They give you these pins. Of course, these pins are dipped in. They have gold. They do have gold because gold is the best conductor of electricity, right? So just let you guys know. But it's okay. I didn't bend them or anything. There it goes. Now it's not moving. That's how I found out I wasn't moving, because it was moving. So it seems like it's in there. It's pointing one direction, and we're gonna close it up. And that's it. It's in there. So testing. Test it. RGB lighting. First of all, we're going to connect the motherboard. So this one's a USB. And of course, one has to be, it's crossed out. If you guys can see it, you'll get the point. One of them's crossed out, and it's going to be on this side. So I'm going to put it at the far end because I'm going to go behind the video card, and it has to go through here. We're going to marry the whole system here. We're going to put the fan, but before that, I'm going to see if I could, I'm going to put the fan now. So I'm going to try to marry this fan. AMD's here, AMD. And we're going to, there's another fan connection here, of course. Let me see if I can marry it. Once it goes in there, it already has thermal paste already. We're not going to even put thermal paste. We could add more if we wanted to, but yeah, it's already included. If you see that it's not cooling enough, I would recommend you maybe add extra cooling, and that's where you're gonna find out on the system when you turn it on. It's gonna tell you how many degrees it is, and if you see it's a little hot, it's because it's not touching the actual CPU. So make sure when you marry it, take a look at that first. So here we're gonna do one end first. There we go. There we go. Now we're gonna lock it. Yeah. Oh no. Now we locked it. So it's solid. You have to move it out of the way. You have to go all the way to the back so it could be solid. And it's not moving, and it's really in there. So this part right here, I might have put it the wrong way, but I didn't, because we're gonna connect it right here. You guys can see it. It's gonna be connected right next to it. And we could even hide this too. So we're gonna plug in this one. This one's actually the actual module with the USB module to control it. And there's only one way to do it, so you can't mess this one up. So that one's in there, if you guys can see it, one connection. I know I have a lot of slack, but we're gonna tie this up as soon as we get the GPU in there. All right, so that's one right there. There's a little arrow in here, a little tiny arrow, and that's where you actually have to start. If you do it the wrong way, you might mess it up. Right, so it's 12 volts we're talking about. It's higher than 5 volts than normally a lot of fans work on, except for the high-end fans. Right, they need actually extra power. On this one, the same thing. It's in there, if you guys can see it, and it's embedded and perfectly fine. And it even tells you where to start. There's a little, they color in black, and that's pretty much where you need to start with, all right? And this one only goes one in way. There's no other way. There's only 4 pins, but you have to be precise on them, because you can bend these there. So that's connected there. I don't like this. This is freaking awful. But we're gonna tie them up together, because we're gonna marry this to the actual tower. Well, actually, you know what? I just found 2 more SATA drives in here. 2 more SATA connections in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is 2 more that they give you in here. This is the first time I actually opened the motherboard. This is the first time I'm taking a look at it. So audio connection in here. The audio connection's on this corner, if you guys can see it. Audio connection here. Batteries already in there installed. A heat shield is installed in here. CPU right here for the CPU connection to power it up. And that's about it. Now we're gonna start with the next piece of resistance.